Hello, welcome back to another episode of Orient Express. Today we're making another Moroccan tagine, but the whole point of this exercise is to show you that you don't necessarily need a tagine to make one. So we have here a cast iron casserole dish that you can make the same stew, the same tagine in, and not necessarily buy that more ornate one. So we got some lamb shanks, and this is a traditional cut of meat that they would use in Morocco. This is probably the second cheapest cut of lamb that you can get apart from lamb chops. So what we're going to do with that is season it with some turmeric, some crushed coriander seed powder, some salt, some crushed chili flakes, some pepper, and some cumin powder. In addition to that, we'll be adding some finely chopped onion as the base of the casserole. And to add to that, we have some finely cut garlic and finely crushed ginger, some tomato paste or puree, some cilantro or coriander for dressing or garnish, and some saffron water. And the final element for flavor are these pickled lemons, which is what they use more so in chicken, but they use the rind or the zest of it. We'll put them on whole on top just for flavor. So to begin with, I have some extra virgin olive oil here that I will pour on top of the lamb as a binding agent before I put the seasoning on. I'll use that as a binding agent before I put the seasoning on. So I'll grab the seasoning tray and mix that crushed chili flakes, black pepper, turmeric, coriander seed powder, salt, and cumin powder into a blend. So this is like the same sort of blend that you would use if you're cooking a barbecue, say like, beef baby back ribs or brisket of that nature. But we're using this particular ingredient recipe for the lamb shanks for the tagine. So I shall just pour that on to the best of my ability onto the lamb, and I will turn that lamb over and put in more of that adhesive in the form of that oil. But I'll get some tongs to do that. I don't really want to touch raw meat. So some of that oil has gone over anyway to the other side, but for effect, we will put some more oil on there. Oddly enough, I jarred my good hand yesterday, which is my left hand, on a door or something. So I'm pretty much paralyzed, or on a handicap today. So bear with me. There we go. Some more oil as a binding agent for brisket or ribs. So I'm going to get more this time to fully cover it like you would a brisket. And as you can see, it's getting covered a lot more. So much so that I might flip the lamb over again if there's any of the seasoning left, and do the other side again. So we have some remaining seasoning here. We'll actually put it into the stock at the end for effect, which is what we did in the last tagine. So I might just take this over to the oven and let it cook. And while that's warming up, I'm going to bring the pot over. I'm going to bring the pot over Oh my god, that smell of the cumin with the turmeric. I haven't smelled that in over 20, 30 years since I was in the Middle East. That's bringing back memories. So we're just searing that lamb for now. But yeah. I'll leave that here because we'll use it for the stock. So I'm turning on that casserole dish, and I'm going to add that remaining oil to the base of the casserole dish. That'll be adequate for now. And what I will do is grab those onions and bring them in once that actually heats up. And when that oil heats up, I'll be able to put that in. Let's get back to the lamb. One side is somewhat seared to the best of its ability. And as you can see, it's creating a really good scoff at the bottom there. And put this one. And yeah, don't be afraid to use the whole shank like this, because that's what they do in Morocco. You can use a meat cleaver and actually chop it into thirds, which I was planning to do. And the only reason we're not using any of our free Tajines is because there's quite a bit of meat here and they wouldn't fit unless we chop them into thirds. So that's why we're using this cast iron casserole. So I'm going to take this onion now and put it in the oil. And that's starting to sizzle. And I can use this wooden spoon to sort of level it out. And here's the point. We're going to level out and let this caramelize, but here's the point. We do have quite a bit of seasoning still left, so even with the onion, I'm going to put some. So we have some seasoning left, so what I'm going to do, because I have OCD, I'm not going to put all of it in, I'm going to put half of it in, half of it I'm going to keep for the stock. That's okay. That onion in with the seasoning. Let it do its magic. But in conjunction to this, I'm going to go back to the meat and see what it's doing. Don't be afraid if you can't actually seal the meat on these joints of lamb because of bacteria. Because Jamie Oliver basically puts them in rare, and I've seen some other people as well, Moroccan chefs, put them in completely raw. But it's a good idea to see the meat just to give it a bit more of a zing and flavour. You can't really marinate lamb shanks like this. You can like dice lamb or maybe even lamb chops, which is a good idea for a Tajine if we ever do it on barbecue with a cast iron Tajine. But lamb shanks are very difficult to marinate, so what I'm going to do is not be too fast about how well that lamb is searing. what I'm going to do is just add the garlic and ginger to that onion. So we have some garlic and ginger here. Just going to add it to that onion that's also been mixed with the seasoning. Mix it through. Make sure you get that onion to caramelize. Blend it in with the seasoning. See, I'm multitasking here, so I'm going to go back to that meat. So as you can see, the meat is seared fairly well in some aspects of it, and it's sort of breaking apart at the tendons. So I would say this is ready to go in to the casserole pot. So what I will do before I do this though, add some onion paste, tomato paste, saffron to this onion. Put that there. Mix that in. Put it in the pot a way that might work out best for everybody. I know what you're thinking, this is a lot of meat, but we figured we'd just do it in one hit. So we're just going to put that last piece of meat in, and this is what Jamie Oliver does, he stands it up like that, and I will go and get stock, which is here, which is basically just the residual of that spice mix. And just mix in the residual spice blend in with the water, about 400 mils of it, and I'll actually put it into that tray as well. So what I can do is get some of this gravy from that tray and put it into I'll just try to break it apart from the actual tray. Get that gravy and put it in there. The final thing I'll add to this is the saffron. So I have some saffron water here. I'll just add on top of the meat. And we could put chickpeas in, but we're not going to, because that's more a recipe for chicken tagine, not lamb. I'm just going to put this whole lemons in, and then let this thing go for about 2 to 3 hours on a low heat, and see if we get the same effect as what we got in the tagine from Emile Henry. So we'll drop the heat. Yeah, so we'll actually put this thing in the oven and let it simmer in there on economy for about, I would say, 100 and 130 degrees Celsius and leave it for 3 hours. So here you go, I've got a Smeg oven. So the thing is, economy will do the trick, but last time with the Tajine, it was more insulated, so we only had it running 100 degrees flat. But this time I'll put on 130 because I'm not sure how insulated this cast iron oven is. So I'll take it like so, put the lid on, and we'll put the coriander in at the end. So we're just going to leave this cast iron pot on the cooktop for a while until the oven pre-warms, because I hadn't done that yet. I was multitasking. I couldn't do 3 things at once. And we'll put it in the oven on economy mode on a Smeg for 130 degrees Celsius, and we'll come back when it's ready. Alright, so we preheated this oven on economy mode for 130 degrees. So economy mode is here on the Smeg oven, and I'm going to put it into the right setting. And we've got solar panels, so it doesn't affect us when it comes to. So we put foil cap on top of that chrome lid, because the rest of the oven obviously, the rest of the casserole dish is obviously cast iron, but that top is actual metal, and we don't want to damage it, so we protect it. So this has been preheated, as you can see, and there's some steam coming out of it. So I'm going to put this in. I will do this with other Tajines as well. Let's do its magic and then come back to it. So I had Tajine at an Egyptian restaurant in town, and the owner is a friend of mine. His name is Ramadan, and I said, why do yours taste different? And he said, well, I don't leave them on the cooktop. He actually puts them in an industrial size oven overnight. So that's the trick. We'll see you when it's ready to come out. Okay, so we're back, and it's been like 3 hours. I'm going to take it out. I had a peek before, and it seems to be doing well. The lamb looks like it's falling off the bone. Okay, let's just put it here. Close up that oven. Still hot. So the moment of truth. Ta-da! We have basically a lamb tagine that has had the water reduction happen, and we haven't put chickpeas or potatoes in this time because there's quite an abundance of meat. So I will take out one of these lamb shanks to show you what it looks like, and bring it over here. As you can see, the meat is basically falling off the bone. Okay, so what I'm going to do as a garnish, I've got a combination of coriander and mint here. I'm just going to decoratively add it to the top of the dish. But it also does add some flavor to it. So that's basically it. Moroccan lamb shank tagine in a cast iron hot pot. Please like, share, and subscribe, and press that bell notification. This has been Masood for Orient Express, signing off. See you next time.